MySuncoast.com. ABC 7 News at noon starts now.
Evacuation orders are out. Hundreds headed to shelters all across the region. Governor Ron DeSantis speaking today with an urgent message to residents all across the Suncoast. But first, our top story, a view from the eye of the storm. This is what is brewing over the Atlantic right now. Hurricane Milton's eye is expected to rapidly intensify, creating dangerous storm surges, powerful winds, and flooding rains. Let's immediately bring in First Alert meteorologist Mike Modrick. Mike, where is the storm now? What can you tell us?
The storm is very, very far away right now. It is just north of the Yucatan Peninsula. It weakened to a Category 4 strength overnight, and the eye wall went through a replacement cycle. Now, we will be able to get it to strengthen back up to a Category 5, perhaps briefly, today. We are all still in danger all the way across Florida from east to west. And we're still pretty much the bullseye the way things are shaping up at this point. So we're pausing here tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Still just a little bit offshore. Category 3 strength, so it'd be having 125 mile per hour winds at the center of the storm. It will go across Florida. It'll get to the Suncoast, coastal areas here in the evening hours, most likely, of Wednesday. And then by morning here, this is Thursday morning at 8 a.m., right here around Orlando. So evacuating to Orlando is not a good choice, or any other part of the eastern areas of Florida, because as we push into later Thursday, it'll then be offshore here, but it'll do a lot of damage. Power outages pretty much all across Florida. You are going to lose power. That's just a given out of this storm. And then there's the storm surge. We are still looking at storm surges of 10 to 15 feet. So a 15-foot storm surge, for me, that would be 9 feet of water above my head. This is dangerous. This is life-threatening. So to plan for the day, you need to make your plan and then work your plan. That will reduce the anxiety level. Because I got to tell you, everybody, even here at the station, everybody is anxious about what this storm is going to do. So make sure you've got a plan, whether it's getting to an evacuation center or staying put for yourself. Make sure you have all the supplies you're going to need to be without water, to be without power, maybe for a few days. Stephanie?
All right. Yeah, Mike, thank you so much. In Sarasota, residents rushing to shelters ahead of the hurricane. The principal of Booker High School says that she believes their shelter will reach full capacity today, and that is 1,800 people. It's a lot of people. ABC 7's Sophia Vitello has more on that.
Evacuations now underway across the Suncoast. We know residents are making that last-minute decision. Am I staying home and hunkering down, or am I heading inland to a friend's house or a family member's house? Well, here in Sarasota County, Manatee County, Charlotte counties, there are shelters available for you. There are safe places available for you to go. I'm here at Booker High School. This is one of 11 shelters available in Sarasota County. It opened at 10 a.m. That's when all of the Sarasota County shelters opened. There was already a line of 100 people waiting to come inside. So now we have folks registering at the front desk, bringing in bedding, clothing, food, water, and setting up their area that they're going to basically live in for the next couple of days. If you are looking for a shelter near you, take a look at your screen here. You can go to Atwater Elementary, Booker High School, where I am now, Brookside Middle School, Fruitville Elementary School, Gulfgate Elementary School, Heron Creek Middle School, Northport High School, Philippi Shores Elementary, Southside Elementary School, Taylor Ranch Elementary, and Woodland Middle School. We cannot stress enough that this is the time for you to evacuate. We know that Sarasota County has now called for zones A, B, and C to move inland and get out of that area. So please check out any of these shelters or in Manatee County. Go online to mysuncoast.com to find out all of that information. For now, in Sarasota, Sophia Vitello, ABC 7, your local station.
And in Manatee County, the following locations are already open. Virgil Mills Elementary School, Jesse P. Miller Elementary, Mayaka Elementary, W.D. Sugg Middle School, Barbara Harvey Elementary, B.D. Gullett Elementary, Gilbert, McNeil, and Dr. Mona Jane Middle School. And the Charlotte County shelters that will be opening today are on your screen there. Kingsway Elementary and the Harold Avenue Recreation Center. Both of them, we understand, are currently open now. So if you need that, start heading that way. Several county offices and operations will be closing their doors beginning today. Manatee County offices and facilities will be closed today through Friday. Trash will also not be collected today through Friday. MCAT buses will be completing emergency transfers to shelters for as long as it is safe to do so. In Sarasota County, government offices and parks will be shut down today. Trash collections have been suspended as of now through Wednesday. Breeze Transit and the Siesta Key Trolley also not operating today. Breeze Plus will only be completing what they're calling medically necessary trips. And in Charlotte County, facilities and government offices also closed until Thursday. Trash pickup, however, will take place as normal today, but then it will be suspended both tomorrow and Thursday. Transit services, those are all suspended as well through Thursday. Now, if you are heading to a shelter, here is what you will need to bring with you. Food and water rations for each person, which can last at least 7 days. And of course, do not forget about food for your pets too. You also need to bring any medications. Sleeping bags and pillows are important because shelters will not provide those. Also, you're going to want to bring flashlights, chargers, and any ID or important documents that you may need, like insurance papers. And for a complete list of the shelters that I just mentioned, as well as everything you need to bring, you can head on over to our website at mysuncoast.com. We, of course, will have all of the information there for you. Both Manatee and Sarasota counties have announced that they have just shut off potable water services to our barrier islands, and this was effective as of 10 o'clock this morning. In Manatee County, Anna Maria Island, Holmes Beach, Bradenton Beach, and Longboat Key. Leaders say they have also shut off sanitary sewer services there. And in Sarasota County, they shut off as well as water to wastewater lift stations, both Siesta Key and Casey Key. Governor Ron DeSantis held an hour-long press conference this morning ahead of Hurricane Milton. And ABC 7's Brissa Bradfield is joining us now with a recap. Brissa, what were the big takeaways?
Well, Stephanie, DeSantis speaking from Tallahassee, his biggest takeaway was do not take this storm lightly. Milton is expected to make landfall on the heels of Helene's destruction to our state, especially to us here on the Suncoast. The images on your screen are from St. Armand Circle. So far, over 1,200 truckloads of debris have been removed. And he said that crews will continue to pick up debris until it is no longer safe to do so. And as residents evacuate and continue to fill up their cars, he said extra fuel is on its way to Florida.
The state of Florida is amassing fuel reserves ahead of Milton and staging it to be utilized as needed. We have been dispatching fuel over the past 24 hours as gas stations have run out. So we currently have 268,000 gallons of diesel, 110,000 gallons of gasoline. Those numbers are less than what they were 24 hours ago because we've put a lot in. But we have an additional 1.2 million gallons of both diesel and gasoline that is currently en route to the state of Florida.
The governor also announced that Uber is once again giving free rides to evacuation shelters. All you have to do is use the code Milton Relief, all one word. Reporting from the newsroom, Brissa Bradfield, ABC 7, your local station.
All right, thank you so much, Brissa. Multiple crews, meanwhile, working hard on the barrier islands to clear the damage and debris left behind by Hurricane Helene, which rocked our area nearly 2 weeks ago, especially in Manatee County, Bradenton Beach, Holmes Beach, and Anna Maria Island, which are still recovering from the last storm. And ABC 7's Rob Wells stopped by Holmes Beach to give us a look at the evacuation efforts there.
Neighbors along Holmes Beach telling me they're wasting no time. They are packing up. They're taking what they need, making sure that their families are safe in anticipation of what Hurricane Milton may bring this week. Even here at the Holmes Beach City Hall, they've already closed down for the day. They've got the shutters over the windows and they are ready for anything. One gentleman telling me he lived here for about 30 years, has never seen so much storm damage and storm surge as he did 2 weeks ago when Helene moved through. Now he's packing up, saying he doesn't even know what's ahead this week.
It's just one of those things that happens. We just got to work with it and move on. And, hope everything was here when we come back, because this is going to be more like a direct hit in the area. So the last one is going to be a piece of cake compared to that. We're going to have a lot of bad wind and stuff. So.
And that gentleman, like so many other people I'm meeting, telling me that it's more important to take care of the people here as far as the belongings, as far as everything else that can be replaced later, but the lives cannot. At Holmes Beach, Rob Wells, ABC7, your local station.
And at St. Armand's Circle, businesses here not taking any chances with Hurricane Milton. On Monday, businesses could be seen boarding up windows and doors. Milton coming after Helene also just flooded that area. And we are inviting our viewers to share with us what you are seeing. You can submit your photos on mysuncoast.com under the Share It tab in the Hurricane Milton gallery. As always, only record something when it is safe to do so. HCA Florida Inglewood Hospital is now evacuating to higher ground. Ahead of Milton, the hospital is moving patients to other facilities in that area. And we, of course, will have more on that when we come back.
Now I got it.
Hey, these are tough conditions. Case is going to finish the drive.
You got it.
Keenum, go time!
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
The magic never leaves you when you stay with the Disney Resorts Collection. It's up early, giving you extra time in any of the 4 theme parks every day, and welcomes you back to even more magical moments. Start saving today.
Epically insane blasters, Mad Mega Barrel, Berserko, Manic, and a motorized Rage Fire. Release the rage with a crazy firing power of 4 darts per second. Combine all 4 insane blasters into one. X-Shot Insanity. Each sold separately, eyewear and batteries not included. From Zuru.
Oh, hey. With Zeem, you can stream free local TV from all over the country. Zeem speaks for itself. It really doesn't need a celebrity spokesperson, but they promised me I could do this. Zeem. Always local, always free.
Now I got it.
Hey, these are tough conditions. Case is going to finish the drive.
You got it.
Keenum, go time!
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
Do you have a Walt Disney World moment?
Yeah, I do.
I've got something.
Let me pull it up here.
Let me see if I can find it. I took selfies with my daughter on my shoulders, and we were watching the fireworks show. I would always see these dads with the kids on their shoulders, and almost like a full circle moment. Now I'm getting to do this with my daughter. And it was just really special to share that moment with her, to see her face literally light up when there's a boom of the fireworks. Something I'll never forget. To be a father that takes their kids to Disney is so special to me.
Oh, hey, I'm your celebrity spokesperson for Zeem, the new way to stream local news, sports, and events from all over the country. But Zeem speaks for itself. It doesn't need a celebrity spokesperson to tell you to download Zeem. Besides, an ex-teen idol like myself might resort to pandering gimmicks. You're too smart for that. Let's cut to the Zeem logo before I do some sexy, overdramatic ending, huh? Zeem. Always local, always free.
And And just ahead of Milton, HCA Florida Inglewood Hospital is now moving patients to other facilities in the area. Patients are being safely moved to locations that can best provide the care that they need with more stable surroundings. And this is expected to be complete at noon today. So we think that those evacuations have already ceased, but they could still be wrapping that up, and we'll keep you posted on that. But when they are completely finished, the hospital will then close. The patient's contacts will be notified, so family members, and we'll have more information about this on our website at mysuncoast.com. So be sure to check there if you think any of your friends or family members are impacted.
So here we are today in between Helene and Milton. And so we are right now with minimal power outages. Sarasota County still with 48, Manatee 15, Hardee and DeSoto just single digits, Pinellas and Hillsborough a little bit bigger. Pretty much count on the idea that you are going to lose power with this storm system. It would be almost impossible for us not to. This is by 3:30 on Wednesday, tomorrow. And the winds are just starting to get into the tropical storm force area for that. So we'll see some trees come down and we'll see some power outages. This is 11 o'clock at night on Wednesday night. We're starting to get into the moderate risk there of new power outages. This is all new power outages here. So it's an increasing risk. We go to 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, and we are at extremely high risk of power outages. Most of Manatee County, Sarasota County are going to lose power. In Hardee and DeSoto counties, count on it as well. Charlotte County, one of our biggest risks with these 125-mile-per-hour winds are trees coming down. We could have 200-year-old oak trees snap down, fall into power lines. We could have big branches snap off and fall into power lines. And when they fall into power lines and the power goes down that way, the crews do not even come out until those winds, those maximum winds, drop down to 35 miles per hour. That will be well into Thursday during the afternoon before we even think about that happening. So that risk extends all the way over to Orlando. There will be outages all the way over to the eastern side of the state. These are the hurricane spaghetti models, and this is a notable feature. They're in excellent agreement at this time. When we had Ian, right before Ian, with less than 12 hours before, it looked like it was going to come right to Sarasota Bay. And then 7 hours before, it took a drastic shift to the south and hit Fort Myers instead. Well, some of these spaghetti models indicated that. We're not seeing that. We have one small little spaghetti model here that's indicating a farther south onshore attack here from the storm, but the rest of them are all really tightly grouped together. Somewhere around Sarasota Bay to Tampa Bay will be that landfall, and here it is in the American computer model. So there's the center of the storm, the eye of the storm right there. This is 6 p.m. on Wednesday. It's just offshore, but our winds are cranking up, making that landfall most likely somewhere near midnight or 2 a.m. here on Thursday. And the track has moved a little bit north, a little bit south from time to time. But we've been the bullseye for 2 days already. It is unlikely that this track is going to change. Going over to Orlando by 8 o'clock Thursday morning, that makes Orlando a bad choice to be. And then exiting out on the eastern part of the state by 6 p.m. on Thursday. We'll still have some strong winds, but we will be assessing the damage at this point. You still may not have cell service. It may take a while for the power to come back on as well. This is the worst storm maybe you're likely to ever see in your lifetime. The red areas from Cortez all the way down Longboat Key, here in the Bayshore Gardens, Whitfield Estates, down through here, all the way down to Siesta Key. These are the areas that'll be having the 10 to 15 foot storm surge out of the storm, and we'll be doing that Wednesday and on into Thursday morning as well, all the way down here through Venice and all the way down south to Englewood. There's not much escaping it here. Again, if you do want to evacuate, just remember, roads are getting pretty crowded now, and it's going to be, you'll have to plan carefully of which way you're going to go to avoid the storm. Stephanie?
All right. Thank you, Mike. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, we are checking in on the woman in charge of keeping you safe during the coming storm. We'll talk with Sarasota's Emergency Management Chief right after this.
Hey, Flo.
Cool leg warmers.
Thanks. They're just for the bus ride to work. They're not part of the official uniform.
No tunes today?
No. My apartment was robbed last night. Took my cable-ready TV, VCR, portable cassette player.
Yep, all the latest tech.
If only Progressive had renter's insurance, like their home insurance.
Then we could bundle our cars and get the same 24/7 protection. I think we just invented that. This is the best day ever.
Well, I still got robbed.
It's still a pretty good day.
President Trump is leading the fight to empower parents and students.
We will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice.
President Trump is right. Kentucky parents deserve a voice in what their children learn and a choice in where they go to school. Give Kentucky students the education they deserve. Vote yes on Amendment 2. Trump supports school choice, so should you.
One day, the bottles will turn to sippy cups. The monsters under the bed will vanish. The tricycles will turn to training wheels. And they won't quite fit on your shoulders. But right here, right now, is just magic.
Oh, hey, with Zeem, you can stream free local TV from all over the country. Zeem speaks for itself. It really doesn't need a celebrity spokesperson, but they promised me I could do this. Zeem. Always local, always free.
Welcome back. To give you a better idea about what officials are doing ahead of the storm, we are bringing in now Stacy Alosio. She is the emergency manager for Northport. And Stacy, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, you know, this storm, it's going to be unlike anything that we have probably ever seen. Does it appear at this point to you that people are following evacuation orders?
We have seen increased traffic on the road. I haven't heard yet from the county as to what they're seeing for shelter, people going to the evacuation centers, but I know they're expecting to have quite a few people in attendance there as well.
Yeah, I was just, next question was regarding those shelters. Do you know if those are starting to fill up, at least the ones that you have control over?
So the city doesn't have control over any evacuation shelters. It is a fully county operation.
Okay.
There are 3 evacuation centers in Northport that we provide, but we don't actually operate those. That is a county operation.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. And at this point, do you have any idea of how many they can accommodate? And again, if any of those are starting to fill up, are you sensing that people are kind of making their way over to any of those?
So I know we have a few thousand spaces. I'm not sure exactly what per high school or middle school that they can take on there, but I do know that there's plenty of spots. People are welcome to go there. Of course, the best, most comfortable option is to go to a friend or family member's house that is outside of the evacuation zone. You can obviously go to one of our shelters as a last resort. You'll be safe there, but it's not necessarily going to be the most comfortable. But if you have nowhere else to go, please attend our evacuation centers.
Yeah, then that makes total sense. Thank you. Stacey, before we let you go, is there anything else you wanted to get across to Suncoast residents, Northport residents, any other important information, any new developments?
Yes, we are encouraging everybody to please, please, please take this storm very seriously. Like you said earlier, this is a storm like we've never seen before on the West Coast. we're going to see impacts possibly greater than we saw in Hurricane Ian. So please, please listen to your evacuation orders, follow your emergency plans, prepare your homes and your families.
Yeah, obviously the best advice there. Stacey, paint a picture for us. What is your day going to be like? What do you have planned? Are you coordinating with the county, with the state?
Yes, we are doing all of the above. A lot of today is preparing. So we have our evacuation, or our emergency operations center fully activated right now, as well as our joint information center and our emergency call center. We are ordering a lot of resources and pre-staging resources where we can. And if we can't pre-stage, then we are getting them lined up. So as soon as the storm passes us, we can get everything ready and out on the roads to help everybody respond and recover.
Okay. Stacey Alocio with Northport, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for, again, reminding folks that they need to evacuate. If they are in those zones, it's best to get out now. Thank you. And to help you do that, tolls during Milton will be suspended. The governor suspending tolls on roads all across Florida. This started at 10 a.m. yesterday, and the governor says this is to help, of course, keep traffic moving. We are seeing some pretty intense traffic, or we did see some intense traffic to our north as people try to head north to escape the storm. The governor is trying to keep people moving quickly and safely. Once again, we understand that tolls will be suspended through Monday at noon, and this goes as far north as Pinellas and as far east as Broward counties. All right, stay with us. We have a lot more headed your way. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 12:30. If you need a refill on your prescription, the normal wait times have been waived, and we will tell you what to do with regards to that when we come back. Also, the critical need for blood donations ahead of Milton. Those stories and more when ABC 7 News at 12:30 continues. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Mike Modrick.
And Stephanie, we're looking at the storm radius of winds here. The yellow is the tropical storm force winds. You're looking at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So basically this time tomorrow we'll be in the tropical storm force winds, and they will just keep getting stronger. We'll take a look at the timing coming up.
All right, sandworms out of the basement and the furnace has been exercised. Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Beetlejuice?
Saying his name 3 times is how you summon him.
Right. What if I say other words in between? Does that restart it?
Don't overthink it.
Or what if I broke it up into 2 parts? Like someone said, what's your favorite bug? Beetle. What's your favorite morning beverage?
You're welcome.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice in theaters now.
Progress. Moving in a positive direction. We all want our lives to do that. Why is progress also in our name? We've always believed insurance should do more. That's why we've gifted over 1,000 vehicles to veterans, funded housing programs for families in need, and why we're working to make roads safer.
You're doing good.
And housing more fair. For us, That's real progress.
Powered by mysuncoast.com. ABC 7 News at 12:30 starts now.
Nearly 2 weeks after getting hit by Hurricane Helene, Siesta Key Village is readying for round 2. Suncoast Blood Centers calling for help to ensure local hospitals are ready to respond after the hurricane. How you can help. And First Alert meteorologist Mike Modrick is keeping an eye on our forecast and the storm. Mike.
And Stephanie, I was showing you this graphic just a moment ago. This is at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, although the winds will be picking up, we may not be in the tropical storm force winds just yet. That means you could wake up tomorrow morning and look outside, say it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's not very bad outside, and you're going, well, where's the storm? It's coming. So as we move from 11 o'clock and we push this into motion to 2:30, we are well within the tropical storm force winds. Tropical storm force is 39 miles per hour to 73, but the lighter end of that is just to 55 mile per hour winds. That's what we get into by the evening hours. So by 8:30, we are in the 55 to 73 mile per hour winds. We'll start to lose power in many areas as trees come down. Then by 1:30 in the morning, a little before that actually, we're in the radius of the hurricane force wind. So that would be 74 to, in this case, 125 mile per hour winds. I'll just say that again for emphasis. 125 mile per hour winds. Trees are going to go down. We'll see power lines go down because of that. You will lose power. Most of the Suncoast will lose power. And so I'll put in the plug for our app because you'd still be able to receive our information and our newscasts through our live streaming on our app for abc7.com. So bear that in mind and have that ready for yourself as well. By the time we're getting to Thursday at 9:30 in the morning, we're getting back to the tail end of the tropical storm force winds. So power crews may not be able to get out until, say, after 2 o'clock, or maybe even later in some areas to start getting the power back on. So once you lose power Wednesday night, you could theoretically be without power for 1 or 2 days. And if it's more rural areas, you could be without power for 4, 5, 6 days, maybe even more. This is going to be a very serious storm. Stephanie?
All right. Thank you, Mike. And Hurricane Milton posing a massive and historic threat, as Mike just said. And again, this is all happening as we are still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Here's ABC's Rena Roy with more.
This morning, the mass exodus from Florida's Gulf Coast is underway, with Hurricane Milton exploding into a once-in-a-lifetime storm.
This is going to be an event like none other. Helene was mostly a water event for us. This is going to be wind, water, storm surge, rain, you name it. It's going to bring everything towards our community.
Hurricane hunters flying into the center of Milton, monitoring the historically rapid growth of the storm. In just hours, becoming the strongest hurricane in the Gulf in nearly 2 decades, fueled by the warmer than usual water. You can see satellite images of the storm as it churns in the ocean. Milton is expected to weaken into a Category 3 storm before potentially making landfall sometime Wednesday night or early Thursday near Tampa Bay. 15 inches of rain possible. And the Tampa area could see up to 15 feet of storm surge.
We want everybody to be safe, but if you stay in an evacuation zone, I can't promise you that you'll be safe.
Airports in Tampa and Orlando shutting down. Schools in at least 20 counties closed today. Many more following suit on Wednesday. Millions across the state rushing to prepare once again, less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene devastated parts of the state. People stocking up on supplies, grocery store shelves running bare, some gas stations running dry, but the governor insists there is enough supply. Another urgent concern this morning is the debris from Hurricane Helene still piled up in coastal communities. Some landfills now open around the clock.
Crews will continue working to clear everything until tropical storm force winds hit. They will need every minute.
FEMA says 20 million meals and 40 million liters of water are ready to go, and 30,000 workers from as far as California are standing by to help restore power. Rena Roy, ABC News, Tampa, Florida.
And nearly 2 weeks after getting hit by Hurricane Helene, businesses on Siesta Key Village are preparing for yet another major storm. The Broken Egg Cafe had just reopened a few days ago. Now the general manager says they are concerned that this one could be devastating.
I'm a little worried. It looks bad. It looks bad. Most of the staff is already evacuated somewhere, and most of the rest have plans to leave as well. So, yes, I'm a little worried about this one.
Siesta Key Village is known for its beach, shopping, and dining. It was hit very hard by Helene, and most businesses have not even had the chance to reopen. Now, if you need an early refill of your prescription before the storm, you can get that filled now without waiting for that official refill date. The early pickup is allowed under the state of emergency currently in effect due to the storm. Governor Ron DeSantis issuing that executive order this past Sunday, including Sarasota, Manatee, and Charlotte counties. All regular prescribed drugs are eligible for the early refill. And a local blood center urging the community to donate ahead of the approaching storm. Suncoast Blood Centers calling for help to ensure that local hospitals are fully stocked for any potential emergencies from the hurricane. Their pleas come from a historic increase in demand for blood and platelets due to medical emergencies, trauma cases, and surgeries after severe storms. Suncoast donor centers are open today in Bradenton, Sarasota, and Venice. You can get more information about donating on our website at mysuncoast.com. And right now, people making those last-minute grocery store trips, water and paper goods are also flying off the shelves. This is a look at a Publix on State Road 70 in Bradenton. We are learning from Publix employees that the last chance to shop there before the storm will be today before 3 p.m. All of their stores in this area will be closed after that. And coming up, SRQ and Tampa International Airport have announced closures. We have all the details, including when they are expected to reopen when we come back. And if you haven't yet filled your gas tank, you should step on it. The high demand for fuel just ahead when we return.
I know. Did you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula. All right.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes!
President Trump is leading the fight to empower parents and students.
We will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want, called school choice.
President Trump is right. Kentucky parents deserve a voice in what their children learn and a choice in where they go to school. Give Kentucky students the education they deserve. Vote yes on Amendment 2. Trump supports school choice, so should you.
All right, third time's a charm. Here we go.
It's okay. Get on the next one.
Pressure's getting to him.
Maybe we should change it up.
Now I got it.
Keenum, get loose.
Here we go. Daddy's got this.
Hey, you got us this far. Keenum's gonna finish the drive.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If only there were backups in real life, but at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
We want to turn now to an update at Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport. It will be closing today starting at 4 p.m. and officials say it will remain closed until the airport is assessed. And officials there are encouraging all flyers to check with your airline regarding the status of your flight. And further north at Tampa International Airport, they closed their doors and suspended flights as of 9 o'clock this morning. TPA officials saying they will be reopening when it is safe to do so. Meanwhile, gas stations across the Suncoast and even further jam-packed with people trying to fill up their tanks before the storm. This was the scene Monday afternoon at the Wawa on Televast Road in Sarasota. And as you can see, many people there getting gas to try to get them through the storm. Many people say that although it's busy, they are happy to see that the prices were not going up.
I've seen the pumps everywhere all week, thinking, okay, they'll probably go up. And people have been nice. They've kept the price the same price, but it is a waiting line. But it's like get it while you can, so everybody's just filling back up.
Getting gas will be more difficult today, and some gas stations are closing in anticipation of the storm.
The storm surge, always a big event for Florida with the hurricanes. When Helene went up here into Perry, Florida, it was a storm surge, essentially 15 feet. Nearby Cedar Key, they had a storm surge of 9.3 feet, and that was considerably far away from the actual area of landfall. We are anticipated to be in this 10 to 15 foot storm surge area, so that's a little more of twice of me as far as the water depth. It's a very, very serious situation, and that encompasses all of Tampa Bay, all of Sarasota Bay down here to just about Charlotte Harbor as well. Hurricane Milton right now, it has 150 mile per hour steady winds with gusts to 185. It did weaken in the middle of the night, went through a eye wall regeneration, and with that it had weakened a little bit. It's Category 4, likely to stay a Category 4. It might briefly regain a Cat 5 status at some point during the trip. Now we're expecting some wind shear as we get into Wednesday. That's stronger winds in the upper elevations as far as the winds are concerned, and that tilts the storm, and it doesn't make it stacked vertically, and that can reduce the intensity of it. A Category 3 storm is still an intense storm for us. Pushing on shore, by the time it gets here to Orlando, we're looking at that at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's still a Category 2 hurricane, and then it pushes out to sea, and once it goes away from Florida, it could reduce down to a Category 1. That would be by Thursday at 8 p.m. There will be power outages across Florida through all of this. The cone, there still is a fair amount of uncertainty here, just about not quite to Fort Myers. And when we saw Ian, Fort Myers was in the cone the whole time, and that storm managed to take that drastic shift just at the last moment. Not much for indications of this one doing that for us. So this is where we have to prepare for the worst and just hope for the best. The radius of the winds, the tropical storm force winds, they could be here by 11:30 on tomorrow on Wednesday. So the initial tropical storm force winds, that's essentially the 40 to 55 mile per hour winds. We start to get some power outages with that. The strong tropical force winds still going to be headed for our area between 8 o'clock and on in through midnight-ish or so, and that's up to the 73 miles per hour. And then in the middle of the night, that's when we're the bullseye. That's the only way to put it. The winds near the center of the storm could be still 125 miles per hour with higher gusts. There are going to be power outages for probably much of the Suncoast. We'll be tracking that as it comes on through. If you do lose power, you can still watch us on our app, and you can still stream us that way and get the information, and also our weather app too with the information. By Thursday in the afternoon, we're starting to get out of the tropical storm force winds. So look at it in our high-resolution Futurecast computer model here. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, some heavy bands of rain, and that's the eye of the storm right there just before midnight coming our way. This is not good. You would be in a situation here, this is 3 in the morning, if this model is accurate, the winds would go dead calm and the temptation would be to go outside, but once the other side comes and the backside of the eye wall comes to us, they go from 0 to 125 again, just like that. And if you're outside, I won't sugarcoat it. If you're outside, you could be dead. That's what you need to be concerned about with this particular storm. Stephanie?
All right. Thank you, Mike. Many residents across the Suncoast getting around to their last-minute preparations ahead of Hurricane Milton. Suncoast cities and counties doing everything they can to get their areas ready for this storm. And joining us now on the phone is Shirley Groover-Bryant, the mayor of Palmetto. Shirley, thank you so much for joining us. You know, this storm, as we've been talking about, is going to be unlike anything we have ever seen. From your vantage point, does it seem that people are actually following the evacuation orders today?
Well, interestingly enough, I spent a good part of the last 3 days visiting some of our parks, and I had reached back out to them. I wanted to see what the response was because I was reminding them, you know, about the importance of if you're in the certain zones, in the mobile homes and so forth, area zones A, B, and C, to evacuate. They're asked to evacuate. And so I had an opportunity to visit with 3 of them and share some information. And it seems like when I reach back out today, I'm getting estimates that they feel like probably 90 or more percent have been evacuating and are planning to evacuate. So that I'm heartened by that because, as we all know, once we get into the situation of Milton being full force, I've not experienced something like this in my lifetime to this degree, and I've lived here my whole life. But the emergency personnel can't come get you then. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you know, you hate to say that, but if people have a place to go, they need to go now.
Yeah.
They really need to go now.
Yeah, there needs to be that sense of urgency. What final preparations is the city making ahead of Milton?
Well, we've been preparing for really all week and part of last week. We went ahead and, of course, followed suit and did our declaration of emergency. And but we've been reaching out and we've been distributing sandbags constantly, reaching out to the community, and actually, you know, trying to make a difference as much as we could. We've pushed as hard as we could to get as much of the debris up. We have ceased picking up any garbage or recycle, diverting mostly to the picking up of the debris to keep that from creating more problems later on. It seems like it's really a yeoman's task, and I don't know how well everybody else has done, but I just don't think you can do enough to prepare.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can never be over-prepared. All right, no. Shirley Groover-Bryant, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight. We, of course, will continue to check in with you.
And pray for Palmetto.
Yes, yes, indeed. Pray for Florida. Still to come, if you have a boat in the water today, you need to take action. We're going to bring you some tips to keep in mind while preparing your vessel next.
Hey, Flo. Cool leg warmers.
Thanks. They're just for the bus ride to work. They're not part of the official uniform.
No tunes today?
No. My apartment was robbed last night. Took my cable-ready TV, VCR, portable cassette player.
Yep, all the latest tech.
If only Progressive had renter's insurance, like their home insurance.
Then we could bundle our cars and get the same 24/7 protection. I think we just invented that. This is the best day ever.
Well, I still got robbed.
It's still a pretty good day.
Don't leave your endpoints vulnerable to cyber threats. Protect devices both on and off the network with CIS Endpoint Security Services. This service takes an active role in mitigating and remediating malware. CIS Endpoint Security Services doesn't just block malicious activity, it can stop an attack in its tracks. And because it operates at the device level, CIS Endpoint Security Services can track how an individual's actions resulted in the system being compromised so that you can prevent it from happening again.
I'm TV's John Stamos. I've been hired to play the great Jack Perry, the creator of Zeem. This one's a challenge.
The tagline is simple, and if John can remember that, he's got a shot. Always local, always free.
What's first?
Always local.
Always where?
Local.
Always what?
Free.
Zeem is America. There, I said it.
Zeem. Always local, always free.
When I take a roll on, I take it head on. Boom.
Welcome back. So if you have a boat on the water, today is the day to secure it. Our John Scalzi has some tips.
During Columbus's final voyage, he suspected a hurricane was coming and hid in a cove. His entire fleet survived, but the governor of Hispaniola ignored Columbus's warning and lost 29 of 30 ships. And the destructive waves from a hurricane can be felt far from the storm itself. Debbie remained at sea, and still boaters lost ships. The best way to protect your investment is to have a plan and act early. In the pre-COVID days, we asked the Coast Guard Auxiliary for their advice.
Whenever you're on the dock, you want to have a life vest on in case you fall over.
If you're leaving your vessel in the water, you've got some work to do. Be sure she's well moored with multiple long oversized lines that are properly tied off. Use extra bow, stern, and spring lines, correctly sized and positioned chafing guards, fenders, and anchor chains with at least a 10-to-1 scope. Secure her both port and starboard. If you have a small open boat or a performance power boat, to name just two examples, you may want to haul out and take your best option.
If you can put the boat in a garage, do it.
But if you can't garage it, then know how to secure it on a trailer.
The boat is actually tied to the trailer. You want to keep it with the trailer. You don't want the boat to come off the trailer. So you want to tie it down. Lines are good to use. They're strong and everything. However, a winch is better, a strap and a winch.
And lots of them. Be sure the boat is strapped to the trailer in multiple locations. Reinforce the bow and stern eye connections. The goal is to lash until the trailer and boat are one. Then, using screw-in ground augers, or better yet, concrete footers, secure the boat trailer to the ground like there's no tomorrow. Put wood blocks between the axle and frame to protect the springs and deflate the tires to lock the blocks in place. Strip the boat of flags, electronic gear, bimini tops, and any other object that could take flight. Get instruction in these techniques and review until you could do it in your sleep. Just remember, boaters, you'll need to take action earlier than those without vessels. You'll need to begin securing your boat when the hurricane watch is issued, or perhaps even before, as you'll need the winds and seas to remain manageable. And you'll also have to take care of your home on top of that before the hurricane warnings are issued. Statistically, hurricanes rank first in the reasons boaters file insurance claims. Yet, with proper precaution, history shows that most vessels would be able to survive just fine. A survey by the U.S. Boats Hurricane Catastrophe Field Team found that properly secured vessels have a really good chance of surviving the storm. And two more points. You may not have a choice where to dock, but if you do, a floating dock has been shown to be more resilient to the waves than a fixed dock. And finally, and most importantly, don't write it out on your boat. It might be the worst and last decision you'll ever make.
And from boats to cars, officials across the Suncoast urging electric car owners to take steps now to make sure their vehicle is safe. You should try to park your car at a higher elevation to avoid any potential damage from the salt water. Another thing to note is that city officials are warning people to park their cars away from other vehicles after recent electric car fires on the Suncoast. The city parking garage will not be available for electric cars during the storm. And if you are not able to evacuate, the Florida Division of Emergency Management is partnering to give residents free rides with Uber to a shelter. It is as easy as opening up the Uber app. You can navigate to the account section on the bottom and tap wallet. You can use the promo code Milton Relief. And for more information about this, you can visit our website at mysuncoast.com. While we ride out Milton, we are inviting you to share what you see, and we're making it easy. Go to our website, mysuncoast.com, head to the Share It tab, and that is where you can submit photos. But again, please be safe. Never risk your life for a photo. Thanks for joining us here at noon. We'll be back a little bit later on this afternoon.